Of one of the largest construction projects of the 20th century.
Hitler says, I want to build an Atlantic wall. I want defences all the way up the coast.
40 million tons of concrete designed to stop the D-Day invasion of Nazi Europe.
15,000 bunkers along a coastline stretching 3,000 miles.
Built in just 4 years, a vast network of indestructible bunkers, deadly minefields, and impenetrable artillery positions.
It's all separate pieces working together to make this going like a monster, really.
It is the most gigantic fortifications that were ever built in history.
This is the story of Hitler's Atlantic Wall.
Nazi Mega Weapons is made possible in part by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
The biggest construction projects of World War II, ordered by Hitler to secure world domination. Now they survive as dark reminders of the Führer's fanatical military ambition. These are the secrets of the Nazi Mega Weapons. 6th of June, 1944. The D-Day invasion has begun. In Normandy, 1,500 Germans face an Allied force over 150,000 strong. Soldiers such as teenager Franz Goethe are relying on bunkers like these to repel the invasion force. Bunkers that form an extraordinary 3,000 miles of fortifications known as the Atlantic Wall. The Nazis built this megastructure along Europe's west coast to protect Hitler's empire from an Allied invasion. Dr. Peter Lee, former German army officer and war studies expert, has examined the wall's construction.
There were bunkers all over France along the coastline, in Belgium, in the Netherlands. It is the most gigantic fortifications that were ever built in history.
"4 years before D-Day, when the first gun positions were constructed, their purpose was not to defend, but to attack. Hitler's army had conquered Belgium, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands in less than 3 weeks in the spring of 1940. France surrendered on the 22nd of June. Battlefield archaeologist Dr. Tony Pollard specializes in the Nazi defenses of the Second World War.
We have most of Europe falling to the might of Nazi Germany and to the Blitzkrieg, and really one of the only opponents still standing against them is the little island of Britain.
Hitler orders his generals to construct massive gun positions at Calais, where the French coast is nearest to Britain. The job of building them falls to one man.
Heil Hitler! Attention. These are the Führer's latest orders. The coast must be armed with as many heavy guns as possible.
Franz Xaver Dorsch is a chief engineer of the Todt organization, Germany's biggest engineering company.
These guns are to be enclosed in concrete.
Dorsch and his colleagues are experts in large-scale construction. They pioneered Nazi Germany's famous Autobahns, thousands of miles of roads that still exist today.
I will personally direct the work. Is that all clear?
Dorsch mobilizes 9,000 men to build 20 large-caliber gun positions in Calais. In the skies overhead, the German and Allied air forces are fighting for air supremacy. Protecting the giant guns from Allied air attack will require millions of tons of concrete.
Concrete is, I suppose, an unpromising product. It's just a natural geology that's bound together in a powdered form with water. But the Germans have learned that it can take a heck of a pounding, and so they learned to work with it on a huge scale.
Building with concrete isn't new, but the scale of the Nazi structures is extraordinary. With walls and ceilings 10 feet thick, all reinforced with a lattice of steel.
Then against that, put up wooden shuttering. On both sides, that shuttering creates a mould. What you then do is simply pour in your concrete through the top. When you take your shuttering away, you've got a concrete structure.
Each of the 20 gun positions require over 40,000 tons of concrete. Engineered to be indestructible, many still survive today.
Visiting these bunkers, it's like a step back into time.
Arthur van Beveren is an expert in the Atlantic Wall and has been exploring its ruins since he was a boy.
These walls are 3.5 meters thick, and if you look at this corner, you can still see the shape of the wood in the concrete. It left its marks in the concrete while it was being poured. The huge dome-like building is the actual gun emplacement, which the 38 centimeter gun was beneath. On this side, we have the crew rooms, kitchens, first aid, and ammunition. A very atmospheric place back then. And I think it still is.
The shells are 5.5 feet long and weigh 1,800 pounds. They are so big that they have to be moved inside on a system of overhead rails.
So you can see the rail from the outside going through this gap up here, but you can still see a part left in this gap. And it was used to transport the ammunition. This is now just an empty gap, but 70 years ago there should be a door up here, and there was a table up here. The ammunition was prepared, laying on a table, and on this side there was a little train driving along the gun, and the ammunition was put on the little train and transported to the gun.
With a range of 40 miles, the guns were able to batter the British coast.
From here, on a clear day, you can see Britain on the other side of the channel. Britain is only 36 kilometers away, and these guns could reach 13 kilometers inside Britain.
The bombardment begins in August 1940. They destroy over 10,000 homes and kill hundreds of civilians on mainland Britain. But overhead, the German Air Force has lost the aerial war. So, in September, Hitler calls off his planned invasion.
Britain really isn't worth his time. It's a tiny place. It doesn't have many resources. He's playing a much bigger game. Soviet Russia is massive. That's where he turns his attention. So he cancels all the activity in the West, and in 1941